everybody. Oh, welcome back to the Lady Luck Club. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. We got to talk about this federal judge who was caught getting it on in her chambers. What we do that at? You can't make this up. So a whole judge was getting it on in her chambers with a police chief. Y'all, there's so much to discuss in this. But one thing I do believe in is holding those accountable that should be held accountable. We don't reward bad behavior. So we need to check this out. If this judge needs to be impeached, then she should be impeached. You do not go to our federal courts, sit on the bench, and think you're going to be doing the nasty in your chambers during your lunch break, and somehow that should go unpunished. What do you mean? Shouldn't you be locking somebody up? Is that what we do this at? Let's get into this, you all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I appreciate all of you all. And yes, this is pre-recorded. I guess I got to make that known. So you're watching this as a pre-recorded video, but make sure you hit the like button because we're going to have fun just the same. Ah, Lord. Moving into this. This is the story that broke out a couple weeks ago of a federal judge here in Fulton County by the name of Eleanor Ross. I do believe. You can't make this up. Let's tune into this video clip so we can get just a reminder of what she did, because it's so gross.
Judge finds herself in the national spotlight for all the wrong reasons. A judicial investigation revealed the judge had repeatedly had sex with an Atlanta police officer in her own chambers. Let's get out to Angelique Proctor, who's been looking into this story that is getting, as we said, Angelique, national attention.
That's right. Good afternoon to you, Tom. This federal judge.
Yeah, Angelique had that camera here. She was like, that's so embarrassing. It's embarrassing. What are you doing? You're sitting in a position where you were appointed, not elected, to serve as a judge. You're supposed to be enforcing the law. No, she's too busy trying to figure out, is this going to be jazz CD number 3 or 4? You can't, God.
Judge is still on the bench here at the courthouse.
Why?
Well, Atlanta police say they have launched an investigation. The judge in the middle of this misconduct scandal is still on the bench here at the Richard B. Russell Federal Courthouse. The Judicial Council reprimanded the judge back in February for judicial misconduct. Last week, a special committee confirmed their decision. This all came to light because several of the judge's law clerks started complaining. The Judicial Council says in its report that the judge engaged in an extramarital affair with a high-ranking police officer. The Associated Press and Fox 5 have learned that officer is a commander with the Atlanta Police Department.
All of this is embarrassing. The commander with the Atlanta Police Department getting it on with a federal judge. How did you even meet this guy? Like, you know what? Forget it. What's crazy is her husband is also a judge. How often does that happen? You know, both husband and wife, both are judges. Does he get to lock her up? How does this? This is embarrassing as hell. Yeah, I'm going to say this. I asked my godmother, I said, do you know her? She sent me one word response with a sad emoji face. She was like, yes. God, this is embarrassing. I'm a believer in the law. But when we have corrupt judges doing stuff like this, you got to go. We don't support this. I would never support this. This is absolutely insane. What are you doing? You getting it on in your chambers? That's bold. And her husband is a judge. All this stuff writes itself.
The law clerks reported that the federal judge and the commander repeatedly had sexual intercourse in the judge's chambers during business hours within earshot of the clerks. The Judicial Council goes on to say when the judge was first asked about this, she lied and denied it, calling the allegations outrageous and baseless. But she later recanted and admitted to her involvement. The report indicates the commander frequented the federal courthouse in uniform during lunchtime. A special committee investigated and interviewed 6 former law clerks, reviewed surveillance footage, and sign-in logs, reviewed relevant documents, emails, and text messages, and affirmed the affair and inappropriate sexual activity did in fact occur.
Did y'all see forensics testing on the couch? No! Forensic testing of a couch cushion in judge's chambers and checking for DNA. Bodily fluids. Oh, her husband he gonna be so mad at her. He locking her out the house. I wonder, has he filed for a divorce yet? You know, because right now it just seems like her income is the most useful thing in this. You can't make this out.
Fact occurred. According to the Judicial Council, the judge was privately reprimanded and agreed to write 6 letters of apology to her former law clerks, forego service as a chief judge, and indefinitely refrain from serving on any judicial conference committees. A special committee explained that it had carefully considered more severe sanctions, but decided against that because the judge corrected her false statements, ended her relationship with the commander.
She lied. And who knows if it's ended? You just don't see it. Like, obviously, we can't do it in my office anymore, so just meet me at the hotel. This is unbelievable, man. I'm sending this video to my godmother. Jesus Christ. I've never known in the chambers. But this is crazy. You can't make this stuff up. Hold on. This shit writes itself.
And had otherwise had a clean record and rendered exemplary service to the court.
I would not be able to get away with this at my job. That is so ridiculous. Yeah, because she lied like hell and then she changed it and said, oh, okay, yeah, I got it in. Boy, that orgasm was something else. This is unbelievable. Oh, it's so unbelievable. I'm laughing because it's like, lady, this is the goofiest shit. Why do you just go to a hotel? Why are you two doing it in your chambers? It's like, oh, the halls of this courthouse has been desecrated. I don't even know how else to put this. And they're like, oh, well, she lied, but then she told the truth. So, she should keep her 6-figure job. What? This is irritating. No one else would be able to do this and not lose their job. I don't care. No one else would be able to do this and still maintain their job. The audacity that your manager comes to work just because they have a private office and they get it on in there. And this boy, Jazz, they got Luther going, then they putting in Kenny G. Then next thing you know, you hearing like, is that bumping? What is this? Silk? Oh, Lord. Little Jodeci. It's just mixing it all up. And you hear these weird ass noises. You're like, I know them. Ain't not in there doing it. I gotta go. Oh, I gotta go. Oh, that's so gross. Because they old and ew. Yeah, when you have to do forensic testing on the couch cushion, now you might as well hang that up. DNA does not lie. Jesus. Girl, if you don't get on somewhere, kick rock.
And this is a federal judge, Lord. Which means this is a lifetime appointment. And the only way she can be removed is by Congress. That is the very latest from the federal courthouse.
Yeah, Congress needs to get to it.
So I want to turn to something else that you are doing. You're leading the effort to get impeachment articles against U.S. District Judge Ross in your home state, in the Atlanta area. The level of behavior, there seems to be little disagreement that the behavior is despicable. Is there enough support to move to impeachment right now?
Get me.
Well, I'll tell you this. This judge definitely deserves to be impeached. She has violated the judicial canons in multiple ways. And
oh my God. In the most nastiest of ways. Girl, you nasty. You can't make this. He's so nasty. They do a forensic test on the couch cushions in your chambers. What you mean? Please do us a favor. Just step your ass down. Go retire. Isn't there an early retirement package or something you can do? Ask my godmother, you gonna tell her how to retire out of this or what? You can't make this up. Oh, this is nuts. You need to get impeached. Girl, you got to go. You can't do this. You know, our judicial system is already being mocked. You're not helping that at all. You are a federal judge. There are others who went to law school, got their Juris Doctorate degree, and would be able to enforce the law and do all that you do and better, and not have extramarital affairs in their chambers. And your husband is a judge too. He might be the lucky one to end up actually being able to put handcuffs on you or something. I don't even know how that would go. Actually, that doesn't sound good. Come on.
So we are working on multiple articles of impeachment against her, and we're bringing those to the floor, or rather introducing them to the floor here later this week. This judge has gone so over and above what would be just the minimum requirement to be impeached, whether it's sexual misconduct in her office itself, or whether it's lying about it, trying to impede an investigation. These are very serious things, and no judge can be impartial and can be trusted who would do these things. Therefore, we definitely have to bring these articles of impeachment. This is my own home state of Georgia. This is my district that she has jurisdiction over. So therefore, we're going to bring these, and
so embarrassing.
Whether we'll actually have enough support or not, we're just going to have to.
Hannah, do they need my vote? I vote yes. She should be impeached. Girl, you got to go. We ain't doing this. No one else will be able to do that and get away with it. No one else. I have never heard anyone else say, I'm a whole judge. And yes, I get it on and do the nasty in my office. The picnic, baby. Let me lick you up and down. Wait a minute. Why you got the robe on? No, Karen, you gotta go. You know how many memes are gonna come out of this? This is embarrassing. Nobody should be elected to the bench to do this nonsense. I have reported, this is the third judge I have reported on here in the Lady Luck Club. Christina Peterson, Shamila Williams, and this Eleanor Ross. Girl, bye, Felicia. Go take it to the house.
Count the votes to see.
I vote yes. And how do I send in my vote?
We continue here at 416 with two of Georgia's congressional Republicans attempting to impeach a federal judge who was accused of having sex in her office and then lying about it to investigators.
Atlanta News First political reporter Doug
Reardon. Can you imagine all the law clerks that were scared to say, yeah, she was doing this? Because they probably were scared that they were going to lose their job. Can you imagine? Just imagine all the law clerks, her staff. You know, these judges come with law clerks. They have staff attorneys. So there's a senior staff attorney and then maybe a couple other attorneys on the staff. And then you have someone that kind of just oversees the cases itself. And then you might have, you know, some sort of paralegal or two or some assistants to the attorneys. So you got a whole team of people that they're able to interview and hire that somehow had to basically answer questions to what they hear their boss doing in her chambers. And if I'm sure they said something she didn't like, then she would be able to fire them. And then they would have to go through all the legwork of appealing that. And then, you know, calling her out on her nonsense. How dare you fire me because you're in here with the police officer? That's a downgrade. You can't fire. Your husband is a judge. What is going on? Can't I just go to therapy or counseling or something? What you mean? Yeah, no, her husband might just divorce her after she gets impeached. You know, right now he's like 6 figures, federal judge, whatever. Because I don't understand this. That poor man, bless his heart. This is so embarrassing. But it's just embarrassing all around. I'm sure her husband's embarrassed, her kids, her family, people who know her friends, other colleagues, and other judges. Yeah, y'all didn't hear that music playing down the hall? Can you imagine other judges walking past her office like, you hear this? Is she playing Keith Sweat? Keith Sweat blowing up and down. Oh man. These judges probably said to themselves, we can't believe we didn't catch that. And we walked past her chambers. A couple of you all probably went into her chambers and sat down on that couch that was DNA tested for, by forensics. All her bodily juices on there, his and hers. And you probably went right into her chambers and sat right on that couch. Oh, you should be grossed out. All her colleagues should be saying, simply because we went into the chambers, knowing now this is what you were doing, and we sat on that nasty ass couch, you got to go. If we got to write letters to make sure you get impeached just for putting us through that, now we're traumatized. Thank you for forcing us to sit in your bodily juices on your couch. You can make this up.
Is live outside of the 11th Circuit Courthouse in downtown Atlanta. And Doug, the details in that report were upsetting to many people in the legal community.
Yeah, they were very upset about this. And then the articles of impeachment that were introduced this week named the other person involved in this as a high-ranking Atlanta police officer. And, this is...
Did that guy lose his job? Did the high-ranking police officer lose his job? Because he should lose his job. Like, this is insane. You're there to work. You got people's livelihoods and liberty and freedom in your hands. You federal judge, you're getting cases from 3-letter alphabet boys. At the very least, federal complaints coming in. People are claiming that there's some violation of law and they're owed damages. And you wonder why the courts are backlogged. Because you're too busy coming to work getting it on. What you mean? Lady, you got to go. She needs to be impeached. Bottom line, who all can vote in this? Can we all vote? Can, the people who she's serving in that district vote? Because I would love to send in my vote. I vote yes for impeachment. Bye, Felicia. Bye, Felicia.
Really salacious stuff, guys. It said in that report that these encounters are so loud inside the building that the judge's staff could actually hear them, and that is how this got to investigators. And of course, federal judges have lifetime appointments, and so those two lawmakers behind
judges' staffs can hear them. So no other fellow judges can hear that. Yeah, these walls can't be this thick. Who the judge's neighbor in her office? I got a lot more questions to ask my godmother. This makes no sense. What floor was she on? All the judges is neighboring her chamber. No one else heard this. How does this layout? Because maybe the chambers are around the building and the courthouses are in the middle. I think that's how it goes. I don't know. There is no way outside, like judges walking past it, it's like, did she go, what's going on in there? We all know what sex sounds are. Come on now. Stop it. There is no way grown adults walked past these chambers, this woman's chambers, and did not somebody busting one out. Boy, I hate to interrupt, but goodness. You can't be doing that up here. No one can. Gotta go to a hotel. I'm not even advocating cheating here. I think it's just despicable that you're cheating. All these STDs out here. AIDS is a thing. What?
These articles of impeachment say this was their only choice.
Republican Georgia Congressman Clay Fuller and Andrew Clyde introducing articles of impeachment against an Atlanta-based federal judge for having an affair at the courthouse and lying to investigators about it. The impeachment documents name longtime Judge Eleanor Ross and Atlanta police officer Kelly Collier as the parties involved, even though the official reprimand from the 11th Circuit Court is absent of identities.
To this day, the 11th Circuit has not confirmed it is Judge Ross. That is wrong. In fact, we only know it's Judge Ross because of certain clues that were in the official reprimand.
Georgia State University law professor Eric Siegel said there hasn't been much transparency around this. Impeachments are carried out for high crimes and misdemeanors, and with federal judges receiving lifetime appointments, it's the only way they can be removed from the bench.
It's not clear to me she committed a high crime or misdemeanor technically, but other judges have been impeached for less than criminal conduct.
Everybody has been kind of talking about how shocked they are.
Megan Grout is a criminal defense attorney who's been covering the strange case from her online channel. She says accusations like the ones laid out in the court's reprimand lower the bar for trust in the judicial system.
They pass judgment through criminal sentences or civil decisions where they are now holding people accountable for their behavior. And we need judges.
That's what the problem is. You lose the trust of the public. Because now you're talking about her lying about this and then going back and saying, oh, never mind, psych. Yeah, it was me. Yeah, I bust one out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with him in my chambers on that couch. What color is this couch? Was it noticeable? That's so gross. So you walk in there and you see that plastic on the couch. It's like an indication she's covering up something. They had to do forensic testing on the cushion of a couch in her chambers. I would be so pissed. Where are her colleagues at? You know, where everyone else is supposed to be upholding these canons. None of these other judges have a problem with that. They cool with that. Y'all cool with your colleagues sitting there having sex in her chambers. But yet the cop should be fired. She should be impeached. And anyone else that were to do this would have been fired and probably arrested for lewd acts. Once people outside these chambers started hearing all of this, there's got to be a question as to whether or not, you know, this is more of indecent exposure to the public. Like the sounds, the music, the noises, the bodily fluids. What more are you exposing to the public here? You exposing the people that come in your chambers. So you didn't warn anybody before you sit on a couch. I'm going to get you a towel. Let me get you a towel before you sit down. Hold on, because if you put a black light to that, Lord have mercy. Yeah, now let me get you a towel so you can sit out on that couch. It might go through your clothes. This is stupid.
That are credible, reliable, ethical, trustworthy.
Siegel tells us in American history, fewer than 10 federal judges have ever been impeached.
We have to hold them accountable, just like we as citizens of the United States are held accountable for our behavior in the judiciary.
Thank you. Period.
Yeah, making matters worse, the reprimand says that whoever this judge actually ended up being, of course, the impeachment articles say it was Ross, also attended a election night watch party for Fulton County DA Fonnie Willis, when judges are supposed to be politically impartial. The federal Department of Justice has now launched their own case to get that judge removed from a case involving the 2020 election. Of course, Fonnie Willis behind that big investigation of Donald Trump over the very same presidential contest in downtown Atlanta. Doug Reardon, Atlanta News First.
Congressman Andrew Clyde has filed articles of impeachment against an Atlanta-based federal judge. Clyde accuses Judge Eleanor Ross of high crimes and misdemeanors after she was reportedly investigated for having sex with a law enforcement officer in her chambers. Good Day's Mark Teigner's live at the federal courthouse in downtown Atlanta with that story. Mark, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Buck. Congressman Clyde issued 3 different articles of impeachment. The first one dealing with that sexual alleged encounter, as well as accusing Ross of going to a political event and then obstructing the investigation into all of this. Now, this all stemming...
You obstructing? That is a crime. I mean, how is that not a crime? It's still a felony, right? Yeah, obstruction is a crime. You can actually be charged with obstruction. What are we doing? Being a judge does not put you above the rule of law. It just doesn't. And then we start letting judges think that they're king and queens of courts. Now we're just embracing some form of a monarchy or something. We're not doing that here. In the United States of America, you have a choice. You're going to treat this like a democracy. You were appointed. Congratulations. You earned it. All you have to do is maintain decorum and the canons that you are set forth to uphold, and enforce and interpret the law. And you get a big head about yourself, and all of a sudden now, Keith Sweat's playing in your chambers, and you catch your little bar friend coming in there. But your cheap ass can't get a hotel. You can't make this up. What you do in your private life, no one's gonna sit here and even care. But when you bring that into your chambers, you're not going to be smart enough to just go get a hotel. They're in Richard B. Russell building. This is like 2-3 hotels. It's like right there, right across the street where the stadium is. There's some hotels right there on the street, right across from the Centennial. They could walk your butt over to a hotel room. And the worst part is you're married. And you're married to a judge. Boy, that poor husband, boy, oh man, we got to keep him in our thoughts and prayers. I know that dude's pride and just ego, his manhood just shot. Unless they cool with this, unless they agree, like, yeah, okay, you can, you're a federal judge, pretty lady, you make a lot of money, you're smart, whatever. It's not like something we see a whole lot of black women doing. Don't ruin it. Don't ruin this. Don't let that be the stigma that carries with black women. And then you lying and obstructing the actual investigation. Girl, bye, Felicia. You might want to just step down.
From a Judicial Council report that revealed an unnamed federal judge had been privately reprimanded for repeatedly having a sexual encounter with a law enforcement officer in their chamber, as well as attending a partisan political post-election party, and then initially lying about the investigation, denying these allegations, although eventually coming forward. Public reports do identify Judge Eleanor Ross as the judge that has been involved in all of this. Now, she happens to also be the judge overseeing the Georgia civil election records suit. And that's one where the federal government is trying to get their hands on Georgia unredacted election voter rolls, getting them from Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. And as a result of this information, they have now tried to disqualify her from that particular case. Now, going on top of that, you now have Congressman Clyde saying that she should actually be removed from office. So we're coming up at 5 o'clock. We'll tell you about how all of that would play out and how rare a move that would be. So make sure you tune in for that. Reporting live from the federal courthouse in downtown, I'm Mark Teichner.
Why would that be?
A federal Obama judge who was caught sleeping with a police officer in her judicial chambers was ordered to apologize to her staff after having been caught and getting reamed by the Judicial Code of Conduct Board. She didn't comply with the orders and the demands, and the people who were supposed to
the hell you say? She didn't comply? Oh no. And yet they tried to reprimand her privately. For what? She can't even comply with sending out apology letters. This is what I mean. This is why you don't sit and reward bad behavior. You gotta, think about how the staff felt when forensic specialists come in and they're testing this cushion couch. Yeah, it's positive. It's bodily juices and semen and squirt and all this pee and urine, like all this stuff in this couch. I'm laughing because this is crazy as hell. Well, all the stuff that black light probably revealed. You got other people sitting on that damn couch. Imagine all the people that sat on that couch. Boy, they ought to feel like shit right now. Oh, y'all. You gotta understand why she needs to be impeached. Because they can get another judge. You don't have to deal with one that's sitting here not only lying, obstructing, and getting it on in her chambers and not a hotel room, and just being an embarrassment to all good judges everywhere. Now you don't even want to actually issue out the apology letters and do what they ask you to do, and just get it done. What are you fighting? You're going to get impeached. Keep on pissing everybody off. This is stupid. Your rebelliousness is dumb and unwarranted. You're the one that messed up. You're the one that invited a police officer into your chambers and y'all start getting it on. You don't even care about how embarrassing this should be to you and your family, to your husband. You got kids probably. Like, oh, this is embarrassing. To people who care about, the law prevailing. Oh, Jesus. Forget your colleagues or your friends or anybody else, whatever.
Received those apology letters, brought them out to the New York Times, and they showed them to the New York Times, and they said she's actually out of compliance with what she was ordered to do. Now, this is leading to calls for her impeachment. We see a Georgia House representative called Andrew Clyde submitted articles of impeachment, and we're going to come back and read those in total. But this is a new story that's breaking. And remember, this judge, Eleanor Ross, who was caught making very disgusting sounds in her judicial chambers, they were playing jazz music. They investigated the whole scene. In addition to her scandalous affair, my understanding is she was married. She then lied about it when she was caught. Went up on a complaint. They asked her about it. She flat out lied until she realized that she got caught. They got the couch cushion, which had a disgusting stain on it, and they were forensically analyzing it, and that caused her to crack, and she then started to spill the beans. But here's what the Times is reporting now. After having identified her, it was a private reprimand. They wanted nobody to know who she was because this is devastating.
This thing, when you try to cover it up, what you do? Spray some Clorox? Yeah, he's a Clorox. Like, she got some Clorox wipes, tried to clean it up. You got all your colleagues should be so mad at you. How many times I sat on that damn couch, you stupid heifer? Get your ass off the bitch. Oh, I hope she doesn't have like a contagious disease or anything. Well, that'll do it.
For her career. She should not be a federal judge. She's a cheater, literally, a liar, and a Fannie Willis lover, and needs to go. So here the Times is calling her out by name, and this is because these clerks who were supposed to receive a very thorough apology that identified her misconduct didn't get that. Now, this has sparked backlash after her trysts go public. Sex, lies, and secrets for a federal judge. She sends people to jail. She was hung over during a criminal proceeding and complained about it to her staff and had to go home because she couldn't see straight or whatever. Here's the background. They exposed.
She was hung over. How she drive? How you driving? So you get to drink and drive and no one else? Because, you know, you think laws don't apply to you? God, how worse does this get? Are you serious? You have people that know. You know, let me tell you something. If you are a judge and you know this woman and you knew she was doing this stuff and you're not saying you're going to have to step down. This is going to get really bad for you. And this is not how we do. And you can hate my guts until kingdom come, but I'm going to tell you the truth. You need to step down or they're going to impeach your ass. What are we doing? She was hung over and she drove home. Did her boyfriend drive her home? Maybe the cop drove her home. Whatever. God, if she got behind the wheel of a car, she should have been reprimanded for that. And ticketed. It's lunacy to think that she should be able to get away with all of this. Boy, this is mind-boggling. I'm gonna have a headache. Can't make this up.
Her and call her out by name finally, and hat tip over to Marco Polo, Garrett Ziegler, Marco Polo USA. They were the first ones who identified her by name like 2 days ahead of the media because they didn't care. So for years, Judge Eleanor Ross's secret was passed down from law clerk to law clerk. Disgusting. They whispered about the sultry jazz music. We were wondering what kind of music was playing. Sultry jazz music, like bow chicka wow wow, that emanated from her chambers when a uniformed police commander, a man they called her visitor, disappeared into her private office. The clerks could hear the unmistakable sounds of banging from behind the closed doors. They chalked it up as one of the burdens of working for Judge Ross, who routinely rubber stamped their draft orders and added little else to them before the rulings. So the judge is not even doing her work. Her staff is writing the decisions and she's just signing them. But the clerks in the Atlanta courthouse, they all felt helpless, and now they're talking to the New York Times. Do you report your married boss, a federal judge no less, who are really supposed to be the cream of the crop? Okay. Like there's a small bucket of people who would be considered to be on the Supreme Court. Federal district court judges are in that proximity. Supreme Court of the United States. They're supposed to be beyond reproach. They're not supposed to be cheating liars. So the clerk
or think that they can just obstruct and then lie and then threaten people with their jobs, because you know that you can get impeached and get your ass whooped for that. You can't make this stuff up. You put people's livelihoods in your hands, and then you think that they're supposed to just somehow have this blind loyalty to you. No, this is not a cult. We don't do that. I owe you nothing, heifer. Like it should have been that simple. No, I'm reporting you because I'm not getting caught up in this crap. And you know better. You know better. I don't know. Perhaps for me, it's just because I grew up around one, and it's, you know, they're regular people too. If they mess up, you correct them. You should not be beyond reproach. Period. You're not above the rule of law. You're supposed to enforce it. You're the queens and kings of courts. We do that at? Not here in the United States of America, girl. You can kick rocks. I just don't understand. Why are you doing this in your chambers? Let's say her and her husband has an open marriage. Maybe they do this swap out or something, you know, whatever. He cheats, she cheats, blah, blah, blah. Why are you doing it in your chambers in a federal courthouse? Why? That is so stupid. When she gets impeached, can Fannie Willis go with her? Because we're sick of her too.
Didn't know what to do for having a clandestine in-office affair with a police officer. But one day last year, one clerk did exactly that. She filed a complaint. There was a months-long judicial investigation that involved courthouse interviews, the seizure of a beige office couch cushion, which was tested in a biolab for bodily fluids. And we read through the complaint, and she flipped the couch cushion over. Somebody walked in and was like staring at it like, what is that? Oh, God. Like, yeah, Judge, I'll get back to your docket. What the hell is that? She's like, eyes over here. Then she flips the couch cushion over. The ensuing...
you nasty heifer. Oh, you nasty, nasty heifer. That's so nasty. So nasty. Nasty. How many other judges, how many of your colleagues sat in that couch? Well, I sure would love to ask that question. You can't make this shit up. I'm pissed. I came to your chambers and I was wearing my favorite black suit. You know it's hot under these robes, you dumb heifer. And don't be at a point where you having heat flashes. Heat flashes are of the devil. It's like foosball. It's of the devil. And you got to go to this judge's chambers to have a conversation with her or something. And you're a fellow federal judge and you sit on that couch. Like, is it herpes here? What we doing? God, if you don't get impeached.
Investigative report is a chronicle of sex, lies, and ethical breaches, much of which is cloaked in secrecy because the court system affords judges broad deference. They wanted to protect their own. This report, the report that we read, became public last month. They didn't even name her. They didn't even name her gender or her location.
Broad deference. That means they don't ever get in trouble for nothing. See, this is how you end up feeling emboldened to get it on in your chambers and not in a hotel room. You got all these hotels just right over there by the Russell building. Like, you can't make this up, man. It's like, you know, I'll just meet you at the spot. You don't even have to come up here. He's a whole police officer. You don't think that first of all, you're being caught on cameras, many of them. Secondly, you come up there like 2 or 3 times in a month, people are gonna be like, what the hell? And you got music playing, it's a smell coming out of there, it smells like ass. He making it obvious. So what is he supposed to be? The one to make sure if somebody gets wrongfully arrested, if you leave work and he's just gonna pull up and give you a ticket because you go tell her though, I'm gonna give you 2 tickets. Oh, bum ass out of here. Go sit down. Oh, he should lose his job. What a gross abuse of power. She should be impeached. He should be fired. And probably looking at some sort of lewd acts charge of some sort. She should be facing obstruction. What do you mean? If you're obstructing this investigation, you are obstructing a federal investigation. Why did she get away with that? Why did she get to obstruct a federal investigation? And most people get hit with an obstruction charge because they don't put their hands behind their back fast enough. That's not deference. You're giving her more preferential treatment than what the law should permit you to do. It should be impartial and neutral. That deference should not extend beyond, maybe we don't name you right away, but the hell you think you're going to sit here and lie to our face and then obstruct, and you don't think you're going to get hit with an obstruction charge? This is a federal investigation. If we got to take this couch cushion to a biolab and do some forensic testing for bodily fluids, the last thing you want to do is make us mad and obstruct. Yeah, test me and see what happens. Like, that's how this should be. She should be scared to lie about this. And should be admitting to her colleagues that they said in her bodily juice
at all. But details of the judge's case soon rocketed the clubby, decorous world of the judiciary. The New York Times did confirm it was Judge Ross, and we knew that already thanks to Marco Polo, through interviews with 3 of her former law clerks who are now all speaking out, and 2 people familiar with the matter, and obtained a signed apology letter that she had to write as part of her private reprimand. Now, ultimately, the committee required the judge to send apology letters to 6 law clerks who spoke to the investigators. They said the letters in the committee, this is what you have to do to solve this. Your apology letter, quote, should be sufficiently specific so as to make clear to the recipient of the sexual misconduct, the people who heard you, for which the judge is apologizing. Make clear to the person getting the letter, I'm apologizing for my sexual misconduct. The letters, though, that she sent, so they ordered her to do this, she didn't. The letters that she sent, dated May 27th, were just 3 sentences long, and they were all identical. Here's what they look like. Dear law clerk, thank you for your contributions to our court during your clerkship. I convey my deepest apology for not taking steps to ensure that it was a more positive experience. I wish you all the best in your future legal endeavors. And
y'all full of she's full of crap. She's full of crap. You should be impeached just for that mockery. Is this your signature, girl? Judge Ross. Is this your signature? You didn't even put your first name. Why do you have the signature of a 3rd grader just now learning how to do cursive writing? Did you not learn how to write in cursive? This is something else. Boy, this is an insult to everyone's intelligence. The hell? Y'all, she probably got some 5-year-old to sit here and just sign over the dots. What the hell is going on? Oh, I can't stand when people do this. When you sit here and make it seem like, oh, I did nothing wrong. I can't believe you took it that way. No. Oh, okay. Keep on. I'll do a whole video on your ass. What you mean? This is so embarrassing. Ugh.
and in life. Sincerely, Judge Ross, in a cursive handwriting signature like an 8-year-old. Judge Ross. That's it. No mention of sexual misconduct at all. No compliance with the reprimand. She's out of compliance. She's flagrantly violating the order that was handed down to her, because what the hell does she care? What are they going to do about it? They already let her get away with everything. This is adding insult to injury. So the clerks who spoke to the Times said that they viewed the letter as offensively vague. It's not an apology.
It's offensive. You are insulting my intelligence. All the times I had to come in your chambers and smell that aftermath. The audacity. I will sue her. Pain and suffering. I'm suing your ass as soon as they impeach you. Because you can't file a civil suit against a sitting federal judge. But once you get impeached, I hope your address don't dodge service. This letter is going to be Exhibit A. Not only is she not trying to rectify it, Your Honor, she added to the pain and suffering by sending me this offensive ass apology letter that wasn't even fulfilling the obligation of what she was told to do as a part of her judicial discipline. Can't make this up. And then she forced me to come in and sit on that nasty ass couch. Bodily juices and shit everywhere. How dare you? Did you get tested for STDs? If you've got gonorrhea, I'm going to beat your ass. That's it. You can't make this up.
Sorry I didn't take steps to ensure that it was a more positive experience. Like what? Buy them lunch? Get them a more comfortable chair? Mentor them better? No, it's not even an apology at all. It's a slap in the face is what it is to the clerks and to the committee who sanctioned her, or rather didn't sanction her. Offensively vague. One decided to share it with the chief judge of the 11th Circuit, saying this doesn't comply with the committee's order at all. Other judges, Timothy Batten, a former colleague to Ross, worried that her misconduct would affect how courts and judges were viewed by the public. She said, "Yeah, I'm really sorry this happened and reflects poorly on the court." He retired.
Is it so hard for all the other colleagues to come out and say the same thing? Can no other colleagues come out and say the same thing? Why is it so difficult for any other colleagues to come out and say, "I can't believe this heifer was up here doing all of this in the chambers. Then she putting this down for me to sit on her couch with. Sit down right here. You can't. Don't go over." This is the audacity. And you wonder why the public doesn't trust our judicial branch of government. Why people don't trust judges and cops and investigators and blah, blah, blah. Then look how they take care of their own. Are you serious? And a letter is like the most that you had to do. Get off that high horse. Pride comes before the fall. This is why you're being impeached, you weirdo. This nasty heifer is being impeached because she couldn't do the simplest things. Write a letter that would not be more offensive and an insult to someone's, intelligence. And follows the guidelines of what we said. He's one brave judge that came out, Judge Timothy C. Batten, a former colleague in the U.S. District Court. That's like, listen, I'm really sorry this happened. It reflects poorly on the court. It does. It just does. Especially with this so-called private reprimand. What you mean you're going to privately reprimand her? Why is it private? No, let's make this known. Hell, perhaps then she'll step down and realize, yeah, I shouldn't have been doing it. She can't even send out an apology letter adequately. Come on now. You were appointed, heifer. You're not the only person that can be appointed, though. There are others that went to law school, know the law, and would do just as great of a job. And if you're not really doing much and you just kind of rubber stamping things, you're probably not even reading over your own, filings and briefs in the first place. Her op-eds were written by her staff attorneys. Well, they need to sue her. Yeah, I don't know why y'all paid her 6 figures. I did all the work. We need to start docking some pay around here. Get some more up and
Hired last year of the chief judge of the court and said, "No, I had no idea. You were just there last year. You didn't walk by the office and turn right around once you heard what was going on." No. Now some in Atlanta wonder if her career will survive. It shouldn't. She should resign, honestly, in disgrace. And if not, there should be an overwhelming force of impeachment and removal for her. It shouldn't even be unequivocal. We've had arguments to impeach other judges. The other judges have cover of this being within their function. Judge Boasberg, Judge Zenas, all of them that we've talked about here. Amir Ali, the ones who are overstepping their bounds, at least they have a legal argument for doing what they did. She has zero. One defense lawyer in Atlanta who has long known her and respected her said, "I don't know where you go from here." There's so much snickering going on by everybody that I can't imagine what it will be like to be on the bench and wonder what everybody is thinking. And so that is so true. The legal community is large. There's like 1 million plus lawyers out there, but it's very small and everybody talks and everybody's snickering and everybody's making much more hilarious comments than I could ever possibly muster up. And I'm sure she's got some amazing nicknames too. In September of last year, the chief judge got a complaint from a clerk based on a memorandum saying there's misconduct. Then the judge notified her of the report and said, "Hey, judge, respond to this before October 20th. Later that same day, Eleanor flips out, has a total meltdown, fires off a ranting screed email and says, "This is outrageous. This is baseless." That same day, she sent another message denying the allegations, saying, "I have no idea who you're talking about. Who's this cop? I don't know." On September 30th, then, after receiving the response, they created...
Oh, the stupidity. It's so dumb. That there are cameras there. There are cameras. Cameras. There are cameras outside the judge's chambers. You cannot go into a judge's chamber without being caught on a camera. You mean Like he sitting up there, he probably was like, "Geez, let me in." That's stupid. Girl. All her colleagues need to come out and say, "Yeah, we walked past and boy, oh, we did we regret that so bad." Do the right thing. All her colleagues, every last one of them, need to think about all the times they probably sat on that couch and be mad enough to say, "We will not allow this to happen." Current or former colleagues, say something because you know this is wrong. And then her ass came up there and she was hungover. When you hungover, you had time to be hungover, girl. Good grief. Y'all judges drink like that? I mean, seriously. I'm laughing because imagine all the judges being drunk. They're like, yeah, you got 2 cases, I got 6. Why y'all doing this?
The committee to go and investigate her. The committee subsequently retained counsel to assist. The committee found that she made numerous material false statements, lied to a judge, lied to the court, and refuted the allegations, which were all later true. She falsely stated, quote, "I have never engaged in sexual intercourse in my office nor anywhere else in the courthouse." Lied. She falsely further stated that she was not sure who this allegation concerns and whether it is alleged to have occurred with different individuals. Like, who's the cop? And that she was, quote, "astounded and confused and has no idea what this clerk is referring to." She didn't recant those lies until later, October 10th, 11 days after making them, by which time the committee had already gathered significant corroborating evidence. So once she realized she was
forensic testing for DNA and bodily fluids don't lie. DNA, you know that Dana is something else. Dana don't lie. DNA don't lie. DNA. Lord, we bless God for DNA. You know, he created us. It don't lie. You had stains on that couch. And you telling people, no, just sit right here on this couch, not that one. Not on that cushion. You gotta sit on this cushion. Yeah, he's so stupid. You don't step your ass down and leave us alone. Step down. Here's where all these other judges that are supposed to be competent and uphold good values and morals and all that other shit can step in and say, you got to step down. Because the idea of you being impeached is about to become very embarrassing for you. You do know all this evidence is going to be released to the public in mass. And it might be more that we don't even know about. You being hungover, like everything you've done is about to be scrutinized. And then you're going to try to make this about a race thing and blah, blah, blah. And I don't really like the fact that he's got Obama judge impeachment. Like, whether it's Obama or Trump or Biden, I don't care whose judge it is. It is a federal judge that was appointed. She effed up and she should be removed. You're going to be removed. You can step down and be removed. But this is the problem here. You lying about this and waiting on 11 whole days. How did you sleep at night? And then you trying to play everybody else like they dumb. And then you send out this insulting apology letter. And then you're rubber stamping pleadings and filings and stuff that you're not even writing. Your op-eds and briefs and memos, you're not even writing it for yourself. So your attorneys are doing the job of a judge and all you're doing is collecting the paycheck. Girl, you are absolutely useless. And all the other colleagues should say, yeah, we walked past those chambers and, oh, man, I did not. The Keith Sweat can't sing anyway. I dare you play Keith Sweat. He sucks. We heard Luther, though. Luther Jam was something else. It was loud. And you can smell, it was smell. This. It's like, why are you doing this here? Girl, bye. When you with your husband, like you and your husband not having some frisky moment. No, a whole nother man. You left bodily fluids on the couch because you know DNA doesn't lie. You can't make this up. She gotta go. She gotta go because then all other judges coming behind her will think, yeah, this is cute. I should be able to do this and get away with it. Look how y'all handled Eleanor Ross. She'd just be able to do the same thing, right? Get it on in your chambers with some cop. She tried to completely lie about, like, cameras did not record him going in her chambers. Girl, bye, Felicia.
Cooked, she recanted. The special committee found that her recantation came only after she likely knew her false statements were about to be exposed and declined to treat the recantation as absolution because she was caught. They got the couch cushion. They were doing forensic exams. A whole friggin' biohazard team came in there. The judicial conduct rules states it is misconduct for refusing without good cause shown to cooperate in your own investigation, and her failure to truthfully respond to these things constituted a failure to cooperate in the investigation, and that is cognizable judicial misconduct. Now, not only did Judge Ross fail to fulfill her duty to self-report this as she was required to do, but her false statements to the chief judge, lies, and the chief district judge were affirmative attempts to prevent those judges from learning about her misconduct. She was lying and obstructing the laws that were established by Congress. Now, it's also a felony, by the way, under Section 1001 of Title 18 to knowingly and willfully make any materially false or fictitious or fraudulent statements on any matter within the jurisdiction of the executive, the legislative, and the judicial branch. So charge her with a felony in making numerous material false statements to the chief circuit judge and the chief.
You charge her with a felony. Now she's committed a high crime, a whole crime. And it makes that impeachment much more smoother. Because then all that forensic testing that was done on that couch, what a vile waste of tax dollars. Because you couldn't book a hotel. And you couldn't wait till after you got off work. That's so embarrassing. That's just some ratchet hood booger crap you doing. And for what? Knocking the boots.
Chief District Court Judge, Judge Ross's conduct would constitute a felony violation of 18 U.S. Code Section 1001 in any other federal context. And so this reflects the gravity of this misconduct and the degree to which it subverted the integrity of the official proceedings. And so therefore, Judge Ross is guilty of high crimes and misdemeanors and should be removed from office. And I don't know if this will catch any steam over there in Congress. They're too busy being useless, but 100% should. And maybe the DOJ can look into that for violation of federal law and contemplate charging her with a crime. But while this all is happening, she stays on the bench. The best course of action for her would be to resign in disgrace. Get out of there. Some big leftist law firm will hire her. She can say this is political prosecution and I'm under attack. This is retribution, whatever. But she should go. If she knows anything that's good for her, this is the first thing she should do, is just get out. But we'll see if she will, because she's got big Fannie Willis syndrome. And Fannie Willis is still there, so maybe she thinks she can weather the storm. But ridiculous. And honestly, the 11th Circuit should also be ashamed of themselves.
Yep. Y'all, this is something else. Listen, that's all we got for this one. Oh, Lord have mercy, Jesus. This stuff you just can't make up. And she did recuse herself from the high-profile Georgia case here. That's what this one is about here. She did recuse herself. I want to make sure you guys see this, because at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if Fannie Willis tried to hire her as a prosecutor. She did the same thing with Shamila Williams. Like, why are you hiring judges to come in and be prosecutors and they've been removed from the bench? What are you doing? It's crazy. So I just want to make sure you guys saw that. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. And I appreciate all of you all.
After the U.S. Department of Justice raised questions about whether her participation could create the appearance of partiality. The Justice Department sought to remove U.S. District Judge Eleanor Ross from the case, pointing to her reported attendance at an event connected to Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis, who previously prosecuted President Donald Trump. On Tuesday, Ross filed an order recusing herself, writing that she was doing so out of an abundance of caution for the potential perception of bias.
Carol, you lied. In a federal investigation where you getting it on in your office, you nasty, helpful. Now you want to act out of an abundance of caution of bias? I'm concerned that more of her colleagues have not came forward and said, yeah, no, we do not condone this behavior. Are you kidding me? We're not condoning that. And we should not be covering it up. because we don't want elected federal judges to think that they can just do what the hell they want without consequence. You're acting with impunity, the audacity. And you got people sitting on that nasty couch. Can't make this up. Why they should be mad at that? How many of us did you have in here sitting on this couch? Oh, that's so gross. And she tried to lie about everything. Police officer coming in and being caught on camera throwing up the deuces. What are you doing? He walking out heavy and panting and breathing and smiling and cheesing and all at the same time. All because she couldn't control herself. No self-control, no restraint, no nothing. Just very liberal with it. If you coming up here, and you hung over. Oh my God. Either y'all can handle this stuff or you can't. If you know, okay, I'm a judge, I gotta be able to handle caseload and a staff and all these things and be able to juggle this stuff. You gotta be realistic. Can you truly handle this? If you can't, then you might need to step back. Like I can't handle this. And then I'm gonna end up being impeached because something's gonna happen. And I don't trust my good judgment. I don't trust it. Like, this is crazy. And Fannie Willis is just like probably waiting, like, don't worry, girl, I'll make sure you get hired as a prosecutor. There should be some law in place to where if a judge gets removed from the bench, you cannot hire them as prosecutors. Fannie Willis did that same thing with Shamila Williams. Her ass got removed. Thank God. Rightfully so. And you hired her to be a prosecutor. What? She was removed from the bench by the JQC. 3 judges said you got to go. And she left as opposed to get fired. Her little punk ass got on somewhere and resigned. And you turn around and hire her to be a prosecutor? I could see Fannie Willis doing the same thing with Eleanor Ross. Yeah, come on down here. I'll hire you as a prosecutor, even though you suck as a federal judge. Good grief.
Case centers on a Justice Department lawsuit against Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger seeking access to an unredacted statewide voter list.
Yeah, okay. And she recused herself. I think that's pretty much the bulk of that. And you up here, going to parties and all this other stuff. Girl, bye. Bye, Felicia. Both of them can go. Her and her. Huh. Dumb and dumber can get on somewhere and kick rocks. The end. Thank y'all so much. Hit the like button. I appreciate you all. Make sure you subscribe to the Lady Luck Club. I do not bite my tongue. You'll miss my words. I said what I meant and meant what I said. Both of these clowns should be getting on somewhere and kicking rocks. Yeah, oh man, all the money this was wasted. And both of these did all of this, ruined their careers over men. I repeat, both of them, they ruined their careers over a man. Her boyfriend and her sideline boo. Both of them ruined their careers over a man. She's married to a judge. And who the hell marrying this? Girl, bye, Felicia. Bye, Felicia's. I see you all in the next one. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and for your support. And until then, Lady Luck Club out. Deuces.